everybody. So knives. We're gonna get you out and do some whittling today. So I'm gonna show you a little bit about some pocket knives, a little safety about them, and then we're gonna get into whittling. So what you need is a knife with at least one blade and a stick. So this will be a really easy thing to go out and do. So safety wise, it's nice to be able to make sure nobody's in your circle or where you're going to be carving. So what we do is usually just grab the knife, take it around. We call this a safety circle. So you want to make sure nothing's around you, up above you. Sometimes there's trees hanging down, and that way you're safe. So if you have a buddy you're whittling with, make sure they're not in your area. So on a pocket knife, I'm going to show you how to open this, and a lot of them will have a groove in the blade, so if you can stick a fingernail right in there and pull it out like that until it opens all the way. Okay, so that's how you open it. To close it, you just do the opposite. You push it until it snaps. So you want to hold your fingers here out of the way, so open, okay, just like that, and you're ready to learn to whittle. Now, holding your knife is, you want to get a good grip around it. What you really don't want to do is hold your knife and as you're whittling, put your thumb up here, because as you whittle you get real intense and all of a sudden this could snap shut on your fingers. Okay, so tuck that finger in or get it out of your way. Okay, now when you're carving, there's like really one major rule, and the rule is don't carve towards yourself or any of your body parts, because that gets kind of detrimental when you're whittling. So you always whittle away from yourself. Okay, so I'm going to take this stick, and the first thing you want to practice is it's fun just take bark off a stick. So you're going to take your knife and I'm just going to whittle down and just get the feel of it. I like to get nice long strokes, and we have some people here doing a little whittling, so there's a couple different styles. We have our little sticks like that, and then someone is over here kind of trying to get a point going there. They probably can't see me. So if you noticed, everybody was carving away from themselves. So what you want to be careful of is, if you're carving like this, your leg's in the way. So you want to kind of get out here away from your leg. And then again, don't go, oh, I can't get this piece, I'm going to maybe cut towards me. You don't want to do that, okay? Always away from yourself. So that's kind of just the basics of whittling. So the one thing that'll make this really successful, and we have other videos that we've taken, is to show you, you really need to have a sharp knife. Because the duller the knife, the harder you have to work, and the harder you work, you might, be really forcing it and more likely to have an accident as you do this. So a really sharp knife will help you. Okay, if you're gonna go do this to a point, you want to just keep whittling down until it comes to a point. Now, one thing I'd like to say, you may go, well, I want to do more than just carve the bark off a stick. Maybe I want to put a really cool groove around that. So one thing that you can do is put your knife blade down and use your other thumb just to push it a little bit, and you come in close. So I might be able to push a little groove, and then I'm going to turn this around and get in there. Now this is a really dry stick and it's really hard, so it's actually hard for me to cut this groove in here, but I'm never cutting towards myself, and I'm using that other thumb, and I have total control under that. So if you want to make kind of decorative, you can go around like that. So again, we're going to shut our knives. So some of the other rules is, if you do want to hand this to somebody else, the best thing is to close your knife. And a lot of times it's a kind of a pain to do that, especially if somebody's just sitting right over here. So let's get somebody to come over, and I'll show you actually how to pass this if you do have your knife open. So you're sitting there, you want to borrow my knife, and I'm whittling away, and sure, you want to borrow my knife? Sure. So instead of taking time to close this, I'm going to take it by the blade, hold it carefully. She's going to grab it, and then she's going to say, thank you. And when she says that, I know she's got it, and then I'll let go. So go ahead and pass it back to me. Grab the blade carefully. And then I'm going to say, thank you. And then she can let go. That's how you can properly pass a knife. The reason I want to pass this to her is that's the heavier end, so she would know, oh, how much that kind of weighs. I really don't want to say here, because that's probably not great. So that's just some of the very minimal basics about using a knife. And you want to keep your knife nice and dry and clean, and they should last you a long time. So thanks for joining in. So I thought I'd show you a really easy thing. So if you don't have a toasting stick at home, you know, the kind that you buy at the store, you can make your own. You can go out and find a green stick, meaning it's live, it's still green, it's real bendable. The reason you don't want to get a dead stick, though they'll work just fine, is I can probably toast 50 marshmallows on here before I actually burn the tip off, you know, because it is green. So this is something that you could do. And if you do this, remember your leave no trace. You don't want to go out and rip all these branches off of a tree. If you can find, this is a honeysuckle and it's invasive, so it's not a problem that I, you know, cut this out of there. But you can take your knife, and if you're going to do a hot dog or several marshmallows, you want to clean the stick off up, you know, a couple inches up there, get all the little twiny things off, and then it's a whole lot easier on marshmallows if you have kind of a point. And I'm going to get all the little frayed edges off. There we go. So you can take a little toasting stick like that, and this will last a long time. You don't have to throw it away after your first use, but there's a good project for you. So there you go. So what we'd like to do now that you know, want to sit and whittle for a while, maybe you can come up with a little project or show us what you've whittled or what you've carved, and share it with us a little later. Thanks.